Good morning. So it's a beautiful, bright morning here, Friday morning. So I thought I'd do a nice, relaxing Yin Yoga class predominantly for the hips. So if you come into a wide-legged child's pose, so take your knees as wide as the mat, big toes touching. And then relax yourself down, relax your forehead. So make sure that you're nice and comfy here. So I have my nice fairy mat. So make sure you're nice and comfortable in your Yin practice. And I also have blocks and a bolster. So if you need to pause me and get a blocks and a bolster or anything else, and also a yoga strap, we may use the yoga strap as well. If you don't have them, you can improvise with pillows, blankets, whatever you have at home. So no need for props for this first posture unless you want something underneath your forehead, maybe a block here, or something underneath your buttocks, a pillow. So make sure you're going to be nice and comfortable in this pose. And we're going to stay here for 3 minutes. So relaxing the buttocks down towards or onto the heels. Again, you can have a pillow underneath there. You can put a blanket underneath your knees. Stretch your arms out. So make sure the spine is nice and long. And deepen the breath. So lengthening up through the spine. Maybe you're feeling a stretch into the groin. Maybe across the shoulders, maybe into the arms as you stretch the arms forward. And if you need to, having a bolster or a cushion underneath the abdomen. And just settling into it. Letting your chest completely relax towards the floor. So we'll spend 2 more minutes here. So going to the point that feels like a good stretch, no sharpness, no pain, and just feeling into the stretch. So noticing if after a little while the intensity of the stretch subsides to maybe just millimeters, inching the hands forward. Sinking the buttocks down a little bit more. So 1 more minute here. Stretching forward a little bit more if it feels good. And then very slowly bringing your hands towards you. Bring your knees back to in line with your hips. Then maybe tuck your toes here, maybe do a little bit of a down dog, maybe walk the feet. Give yourself a really good stretch. And then coming down onto the hands and knees. So from here we're going to go into a dragon or a low lunge. So you're going to take your right foot forward. You're going to line up your right ankle and your right knee. And then you're going to slide your left knee back. So again, make sure you've got some padding underneath that left knee. Slide it back as much as is comfortable. And then you can use a couple of blocks here, one either side of the foot. And then just send your weight forward to intensify the stretch and pull back a little bit to lessen it. So find what feels comfortable for you today. And for today's practice, there's loads of different variations of dragon pose. But for today's practice, we're going to stay up higher rather than going down low. Because you'll probably find the more that you send that left knee back, the more you'll feel a stretch in the front of the hip there. And the more you hinge your hips forward, you'll feel maybe in here into the inner right hip. So we're compressing more on the right side, but opening up on the left side. So again, constantly feeling into it, making little adjustments, making sure you're not hunching the shoulders up, drawing them down the back, lengthening up through the chest and through the neck. And if you find that your mind is drifting a little, either feeling into the sensations in the body, trying to be in the present moment, so feeling what's happening right now. And you could feel how you feel emotionally today as well as physically. So we have 1 more minute left. And we're not judging any feelings, we're just noticing where we are right now, right here, right now. And then when you're ready, use your blocks, if you have them there, press into them so that you can send your weight back nice and slowly. Maybe have a little hamstring stretch there, straightening the right leg, just for a few breaths, flexing the toes up. And then take that foot, bring it in line with the other foot. And again, if you need to, have a little stretch for your down dog. And then we'll go straight into the other side. So back onto the hands and knees. Use your blocks again, press into them, step your left foot forward. Slide your right knee back as far as is comfortable. And then once again, goes where feels right for you. So now we're compressing more into the left side and lengthening out through the right. Nice, slow, deep breaths there. Again, feeling into the present moment, noticing what you're feeling, notice where you're feeling it. Make little adjustments, either sending the weight forward, pulling back. And we'll do another 2 minutes here. Lengthening up through the chest, through the neck, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Remember, you can always count the breath as well if you find that the mind is wandering and you're not able to be present in the moment. You can count the breath. So you could inhale for 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4, and maybe count to 20, and then reverse it back down again. So 1 more minute here. And again, pressing into your blocks, send the weight back. Start to straighten that left leg, flex the foot. Just have a little hamstring stretch there. And then make your way back, bringing the left knee in line with the right. And once again, have a little stretch, down dog. So we're going to move into pigeon pose, or swan pose. It's known as pigeon pose in Hatha Yoga, swan pose in Yin Yoga. So coming down onto the hands and knees. And you're going to step your left knee. Actually, let's do the right side first. So you're going to step your right knee to the outside of the right wrist, so that your knee is wider than your hip. And then slide your left foot back. So option to stay here, option to put something underneath, a cushion propping up the left hip. Option to take that left heel out a little bit more so that it's in line with the groin. Or if you're going to take it a little bit wider, flex the foot to protect the knee. And just see how you feel there. So you can either stay up high or go for a little bit more compression and bring yourself down so that the weight of your body compresses down on that left hip. So that's the way that I'm going today, keeping it nice, relaxing for a Friday. And you can always prop, if you need to, you can rest your head on a block. If you don't want to go all the way down, You could start this way as well, if going all the way down feels a little bit too intense. Making your way eventually to all the way down, or staying with the block underneath the head. Again, tailor it to what feels good for your body today. So getting that compression, deep compression now into the left hip, sorry, the right hip. So we'll spend 2 more minutes here. So 1 more minute. So from here, again, walk the hands towards you. Press your hands into the floor and tuck your left toes. Lift up your knee, step back, down dog, have a little stretch. You could do a forward fold here. And then we'll make our way to the other side. So back onto your hands and knees. And this time, left knee going to the outside edge of the left wrist so that your knee is wider than your hip. Slide your right leg back. See how that feels. Remember, one side can be different to the other. And if you want to, maybe just bringing that leg out a little bit more so the heel is in line with the groin, or taking it a little further, flexing the foot. And then making your way onto the elbows, or staying up high to begin with, if that feels good. And you can always put a little bit of a cushion underneath there if you find that you're falling over to one side. You can rest your head on a block here, or lie all the way down. And feel that compression into the right hip. Again, you're going for a nice, deep, satisfying stretch with no sharpness and no pain. So even if you went this deep on the last side, but on this side it's feeling a little bit too intense, come up for a moment, up a little bit for a moment. Spend a moment there. Let the body adjust, and then go back down. So always working with the body, listening to how the body is right now, today. We can all hold tension in our body from various stresses. Maybe something that you were doing yesterday or the day before. Or maybe it's just tension held in the body. So always just listening for that. So we've 1 more minute here. And then making your way back up. Onto your hands, push your hands into the floor, lift your knee, step back, either down dog or a forward fold here. Okay, now we'll make our way to sitting on the floor. And we'll take our legs nice and wide. So maybe sitting sideways on your mat. Give yourself a little bit more comfort underneath. Taking your bolster. So bring your bolster in line with your groin. And then you can always prop your bolster with a few blocks or books if you have them at home, if you're not using blocks, like so. If you're able to go as deep as that, but if not, hug the bolster in tight. If you don't have a bolster at home, you could always have a chair in front of you here, and you can rest your hands on the seat of the chair. So if you have the seat of the chair facing you and the back away from you, and rest your hands on the seat of the chair. And relaxing there, so. So always go to the point that feels like a stretch. First, your first edge of a stretch. You can stay there for a little while. And then as the edge of that stretch starts to subside a little, take yourself a little bit deeper. So again, working with what feels right for you right now. And you'll find the more you practice, the more you'll kind of understand your body. And know that, especially first thing in the morning, for most people, not everybody, but for most people, the body is a little bit stiffer. You've been lying down for a long time. And the body can take a little while just to warm up, get the lubrication going around in the joints. So you'll probably find that if you practice in the morning, you're a little bit stiffer than if you practice in the evening. But Yin Yoga is always best to get the real benefits out of Yin Yoga. It's always best to do Yin Yoga cold. So I don't mean physically in a cold room. I mean when the body hasn't warmed up. So that's why if we do Yin and Yang, we always tend to practice our Yin first and then the Hatha. You can use your Yin to relax afterwards, but it's more like a restorative cooling down of the body. You don't get the true benefits of Yin when the body is warm. Slowly making your way up. So always use your hands to push you up rather than your back. So place your hands on the floor. Push your way up. Okay. So this is where we'll use a belt, or I'll give you the option of using a belt. Let me just grab one from over here. Okay, so this is optional completely. I'm going to do a little bit of a back bend, but a hip opener as well. So our butterfly legs with a fish pose for our back bend. So have a bolster behind you. If you're going to lie back, I'll show you now. So you're going to have a loop in your yoga strap. Open it up really wide, so a really big loop. And then pop it over your head and round to your waist. And then bring your 2 feet together. And you're going to hook your strap in and around your 2 feet. So you have butterfly legs. And then you're going to tighten up your strap. So make sure the buckle isn't sitting on your ankle. You're going to tighten up the strap. So try and have the strap so that it's kind of not pressing against your skin at all. So tighten it up to where it feels like a good stretch for you. Now, if this is a challenge for you, you may not want to go back. You may not want to use this strap at all. So you might want to use this as more restorative than anything. See, then your option is to take your bolster and take the short end of your bolster right into the small of your back and just pinch it. I'm just going to bring my timer with me. Okay, and then lie back. So if lying back this far is enough for you, you might want to put some more bits and pieces behind you. You could prop your bolster up on the back, on a chair again, the seat of a chair. So just make sure it's nice and secure before you lie down on it, that you have it well propped. You can prop it with a couple of blocks. Or if you can lie all the way back, you could put a cushion underneath your head or underneath your neck. So we're opening up through the chest, getting a nice supported back bend here, opening up through the ribs. And you can stretch your arms out. You can keep your elbows here down by your sides if that's enough for you, or stretch your arms out, palms facing up, and feel that stretch into the arms as well. And if this doesn't feel good for you, lying on a bolster with this back bend at the moment, just lie on the floor. So take the bolster out, lay on the floor, use your strap or don't use your strap. You could prop your legs up. So there's so many options. You could put blocks underneath if you felt too much strain here with the weight of the legs. So we'll just spend another 2 minutes here. So one more minute. Okay, so bring your elbows in close to the body if they're not already and turn your palms down. Use your hands again to push you up rather than your back. So try not to use, when you've been in a deep pose, try not to use your back, always use your hands. So chin to chest first, and then push yourself up with your hands. Make your way up. All the way up, unhook your belt from your feet. You might need to loosen the strap a little bit to do that. Leave it to one side. Roll your bolster from behind you, and we'll just windscreen wipe the knees. This is a great way of loosening off the spine. And then coming with the legs out in front. And we'll twist from here. So we'll bend up the left knee. And you want to make sure that there's a fist distance between your left foot and your right thigh. So fist distance there, that makes sure that your joints are all stacked. So try not to let your foot come in and your knee drop out. So try and stack all your joints. Take your right hand around your left leg, flex your right foot, and then turn, twist, and look over your right shoulder. You can take a block here if you want to give you a little bit more height to stop you from dumping down. So try and keep that length in the spine as you twist. And you're twisting from the waist, then the ribs, then the chest, and the head and neck are just gently following. So try not to go all the way back with the neck. Try and keep the neck more or less in line with the chest. A slight turn of the head is all. So you're not overstraining the neck. You wanted a little bit extra here if you've been practicing for a while and you feel quite comfortable in your twist. You can take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee and then stretch your fingers up towards the ceiling, bending at the elbow, but not pushing that knee in. So you've got to press the outside of that left leg, left knee into the arm and the arm into the leg so that you're not pushing. So one is pressing against the other. So just one more minute here. So come back to center. The legs a little bit of a stretch. And then you can stay where you are, but I'm just going to spin myself around here so that I'm not turning my back on you. So you're bending up your right knee this time. Fist distance between your right foot and left leg. Flex your left toes. Left hand on the right knee. Right hand behind. Again, option for block underneath your hand. And then just wrapping your left elbow around your right knee. Again, being conscious not to push that knee in towards the left leg. So taking it less rather than pulling on it. And again, if you want to go that little bit deeper, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And stay there. And just noticing if you're a little stiffer on one side than the other. And taking it to wherever this side allows. So 2 more minutes here. Getting that twist from the waist, ribs, chest, head and neck gently following. Keep an eye on not dumping into the shoulder and collapsing down. So just gently pressing the hand into the floor to create that length once again in the spine. So we've 1 more minute here. So bringing yourself back to the center. Once again, a little stretch. Okay. So coming into a seated position, rest your hands on your thighs. So sitting cross-legged, legs out in front, whatever feels good for you. Close the eyes, take a nice deep breath. Namaste. So thank you for watching. If you fancied a little bit of a relaxation, maybe head over to the meditation page or to one of the audios for a little bit of meditation after your practice. Take care. Bye.